One thing or the very first thing I learned about an home is that you feel at home, in the sense that, remember when we were small, when we were still little kids, always following mommy and daddy everywhere. Mommy is going this place, we follow her. If daddy is going to this place, we follow them. It was always fun and exciting. And I remember that when we go to visit like that, there's something they always say: oh, you guys are welcome, feel at home, ask for anything, and all of that. To them, it was a way of them actually like making us feel very comfortable in their home. But it actually passes a message that is beyond that. It actually passes the message that when you are home, you should actually feel at home. You should feel very comfortable. You should feel very much in your element to express yourself the way you want to express yourself. Or you should even be able to express yourself just the way it is in your mind. Like, for example, I want to say, I don't like this thing. I don't have to sugarcoat that I don't like this thing. I should be able to come out frankly and say I don't like it. Not because I want to be very frank or I want to be very rude with my family, but because I'm at home, I'm in my element, I am free to express myself the way I want to express myself, in as much as I am not infringing on somebody else's rights and I'm not hurting anybody with my words. It's when it's going to hurt another person in your family, then you have to reconsider how do you express yourself in your family. If you are just joining us, or if this is your first time watching my video, my name is Zainab Olasupo-Idris, and basically my channel is about families and friends, and today we'll be talking about my home, my safe word, making our homes a safe place for us. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Just stay with me. In case you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button now so that you do not miss out on subsequent videos, and turn on your notifications so that once a new video is out, you'll be able to receive a notification that a new video is out and you'll be among the first set of people to watch my video. Just stay with me. As we have already said it earlier, I'm going to tag the video up here where we talked about different parenting styles and all of that. Different parenting styles will definitely give us differences in the atmospherical condition of the home. You cannot enter two homes and they smell the same way, even though they use the same cleaning agents, even though they kind of like do everything the same way. There's always a different feeling at home. It's just like when your mom cooks jollof rice and your dad jollof rice. Jollof rice cannot taste the same way because they are two different people, even though it is in the same home and they are using the same ingredients. And that's the way the home is. The home is something very personal and it's something very unique to every family, depending on the setup of the family. For example, if in the home setup all the children are guys, only the mother is a female, the way the home will be structured will be different from in a setting that most of the kids have girls and you have just the father has a male. And it's going to be different from the way the setup of having mixed gender would be like. And that's just even on the physical side. The different parenting style that is adopted in different homes will definitely separate homes from each other because it gives unique factor to each home. Put in mind that everybody is an entity on their own. Everybody have their differences, their likes, their dislikes. So then you all coming together to make up a whole family that you stand for one goal is enough a task on its own. And then now that you're trying to like consider everybody and trying to like be very expressive, that's why you would have a bit of an hitch when it comes to expressing yourself in a home. But notwithstanding, it's something that we really have to work towards so that we'll be very free and feel so much in our elements when we are home. And that's why I'm going to be highlighting a few things that could probably be the reasons why kids in their homes cannot really express themselves, or why they aren't really expressive, to make the home a safe spot for them. Because when you express yourself, when you allow the people around you to know that this is what you are going through, or this is what makes you feel comfortable, this is what doesn't make you feel comfortable, this is what makes you feel welcome, this is what doesn't make you feel welcome, or this is what you stand for, and this is something that you don't want to be associated with. If you can't express those things to the people around you, then you will keep having conflict of ideas, conflict of goals, conflict of interest, which is normal but has to be put to the minimal level in a family setup so that you align and you're able to fit into each other basically. So that's why we'll be highlighting a few things that cause each in communication, because if there's adequate and efficient communication in the sense that everybody is able to express themselves the right way, and whoever is on the listening end of who is expressing his or herself is able to understand what the person expressing himself is saying, then you would have a smooth ride because the intended message has been delivered delivered just like it was intended, basically. So that's why we're going to be looking at what are the glitches that we have to effective and adequate communication in our home that has now made the home not to be very much comfortable for kids. The first thing I want to highlight is the fact that they are probably being judged in their house. For example, now something happened at home and the child has even gotten the chance to express his or herself to say this is what happened or this is why I did this, and the parents are already like, oh, you did this because of this, because of this, because of this. And a very good example is you notice that the child is changing at home and you are trying to like correct those changes, and you're like, no, you must not do this behavior, I don't want this behavior with you, and all of that. Then you see the child talking to someone that probably you've heard or you've seen that other person elude that kind of character, and I think that there's just this thing that is wired in the head that just automatically connects it together, and you're like, oh, that's the reason why your child has been uncooperative with you at home. Is that child that is influencing your child? And more often than not, it might be true, but what about in cases whereby it is not true? What about in cases whereby that child isn't even really affecting your child? What about in cases whereby your child is not even actually friends with the person you are accusing to have been influencing that person? That's why you have to actually give room for your kids to express themselves and take their expression just like they've said it to be. Another thing that actually affects the child expressing themselves at home is if you as a parent, you blow things over the proportion. Like the child said A and you've interpreted or you made this A to become Z, and the child is just like, okay, so what exactly have I come to talk about? Like, why did I even raise this with them? Like, why am I even talking about this with them? Because what I'm actually talking about or the reason why I came to meet you have been ignored, and you've already translated it to like 50 other things when I just mean just one of those 50. And oftentimes when parents do this, at the end of the day, they actually end up forgetting or leaving aside that point that the child really needs explanation on, or that point that the child is trying to buttress, and they focus on the 49 more reasons that they've attached to the single thing that the child has come to express. And it's just like being judgmental. It's very close to being judgmental. Next time the child wants to express herself, the child actually does a lot of rethinking and is like, you know what, I'll just handle this myself. Another thing that actually pushes children from expressing themselves at home is if the parents are too strict. If you listen properly, I said too strict. A strict parent is not the problem, but when a parent is too strict, then there is a problem, because you are going to like insert so much fear in that child that before the child even expresses himself or herself, the child would have lived in constant fear of, oh, if I tell mommy this, she's going to do this, she's going to say this, she's going to say that. And the child just keeps finding a way to like manipulate what has happened, twisting some lies, avoid some truth, till the child feels like, okay, if I tell mommy or daddy this, it will not land me in so much of trouble. And at the end of the day, the child is not even painting the real picture to you, such that whatever advice you even give to that child at that point in time, it may be a good advice, but because you do not really even know the whole truth, it will not be the best advice that the child should go through at that point in time. And there is this thing that a psychologist said, that unexpressed emotions, they never die, such that at some point in time the child starts expressing mood swings at home, and you don't even know how to handle it because you don't even know what has actually pushed the child to start having mood swings. Because like they used to say, the solution to every problem starts from its cause. What is the cause of that problem? What is going to determine, okay, this is the solution that would be favorable to resolve this. And these things are things that shouldn't really happen at home, because we do not want outsiders outside the home to actually put the children through these phases, which is why it has to be corrected at home so that we understand each other. It's very understandable that teenagers and young adults are people that feed so much on emotions, are people that are very, very emotional, but you also have to relate with them based on that, based on the fact that they are emotional at that point in time. It's not by choice. It's not like they also want to be very emotional. It's not like they want to go through all those emotions the way it's coming to them, but it's something they have to go through. It's a process that they have to go through, and while they're going through them, the best thing you can do for them as families, as friends, is actually to support them through it. Is why I decided to put up this video, so that we can address a few things that could be causing this in our family setup. If you really enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really enjoy this content and you would like to see more of my content, do make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification button. I hope to see you very much soon. Do have a nice day.